The APR team just shut down the hosts AS Douanes in a hard-fought win. This game ended 66-61. Let's just talk about this. So this game was a total defensive affair. No team was able to be efficient in every side of the ball. AS Douanes, the fans turned out in their large numbers once again. And to be specific, there were 4,478 fans that turned out for this game to see the AS Douanes team win. But unfortunately, that did not hold the APR team back from winning this game by 5 points. The final score 66-61. So it was a highly contested game that could have gone either way. And there were 16 lead changes in this game. So this game was just so competitive to the point where no team had that clear path to victory. Only the other team that could be able to outlast, and in this case was APR, they were able to go ahead and win it. Despite turning over the ball 21 times, APR's 44 rebounds against AS Douanes 36 minimized damage as the APR team continued and they prevailed. Obadiah Noel came up with another heroic performance, leading APR with a game high of 24 points, and Adonis Filer, the other APR player to score in double digits, he had 10 points. So the only two players who scored 10 points or more. APR's forward Alex Mpoyo, who scored 8 points, later shed some light on their second win. So he came out and said, "We knew from the beginning it was going to be a fight because they are a very physical team and we needed to come out and play hard," Mpoyo said. John Jack is Boise, the only AS Douanes player to score double digits, finished with 14 points. Adama Diakite added 9 points from the bench, and Ibrahima Thomas, Abdullahi Haruna, and Mike Fofana all contributed 8 points apiece in the losing cause. This is the worst I've seen Abdullahi Haruna look. Neither team managed a double-digit lead in the nerve-wracking clash. This game was very clutch. So Mpoyo went on to say that one of the reasons why they experienced ups and downs in the low-scoring game was because of a little lack of concentration at the end with the turnovers, but we needed to be more solid with the ball, especially towards the end of the game. That's something we needed to clean up for sure. After losing to the River Hoopers 86-82, APR knew they needed to bounce back to the playoff aspiration and keep their playoff aspirations alive. The game was so intense, and with 32 seconds on the clock, the officiating team needed approximately 5 minutes to review an incident that resulted in a double technical foul on APR's Noel and AS Douanes' Ibrahima Thomas, with APR leading 60-59 in the waning seconds of the game. The final score determined from the charity stripe as both teams are on their foul limits. APR and AS Douanes returned to action on Thursday for the second round of the 2024 SAR Conference. That's just a rundown on this game, but man, this game was just hard. You can see the game was decided from the free throw line, and APR, despite having a very poor field goal percentage, shooting 34% from the field, 60% on 2-point field goals, and an abysmal 21% from downtown, they were able to lead in the free throws with 85%, and this game was just decided from the free throw line, and they had 44 boards, out rebounding the AS Douanes team. The AS Douanes team just didn't have it. They had poor concentration during the game, and it was such a difficult game to watch at some point from an entertainment perspective because it was so hard as both teams were really putting on their A game on defense. And considering the fact that AS Douanes were held to a quarter low, 9 points in the second quarter, that was actually one of the main reasons as to why in the final minutes they were not able to bounce back. And because of the hard defense they were playing, the game at the end, you could see a lot of times when they get a foul, they were getting sent to the line. And also, you can see the AS Douanes team, even in front of their fans, they were not able to go ahead and win this game. So this game in particular, I must say it was a much-needed win from APR because despite losing to the River Hoopers by 4 points, the heartbreaking 4 points, you can see majority of APR's games are very close. And this is something that I've been monitoring all through, because if they want to go ahead and qualify in the playoffs, they need a convincing blowout by a team They have to blow out a team. I don't know which team they're gonna blow out. Either it's Douanes, River Hoopers, if they're gonna get a loss. But if they don't get a convincing blowout, there's a high likelihood that they might end up number 2 or even number 3, or a tiebreaker is going to be determined for them to go ahead to the playoffs. But this is not saying that they are done, but still they need to do a lot, especially when it comes to keeping the other opposing team at a low when it comes to scoring on the other side of the basketball. But the AS Douanes team, they did not pull up a convincing performance here because it was such a defensive affair, and they couldn't be able to defend home court. And this marks their second loss. The first time they lost to the River Hoopers, in this case, they lost to the APR team, and it's actually something that is concerning. If the AS Douanes team are not able to defend home court, we want to see this team go ahead and challenge in the playoffs as well as the APR. But it's going to be a dogfight, and I'm very excited to see both APR and AS Douanes are just fighting for that number 2 or number 3 slot. No team wants to be number 3, because if you get to the number 3 slot, it's a tiebreaker in points, and if you don't score as much points as is needed, you won't be able to slide in to the playoffs just the way the Cape Town Tigers slid in after the Nile Conference. You can see after the last game of the Nile Conference, that's when we had the breaking news that the Cape Town Tigers have slid their way into the playoffs, and they're going to be headed to Kigali. So heading to Kigali is something that is needed. And the other statistics, you could see points from turnovers. The APR, they trailed at that, but they still won it. And also just having a lot of turnovers. They had 21 turnovers in this game. It was so concerning. A team turning over the ball and the rate of fouling and making the game difficult and not following conventional ways of winning the basketball game was the main reason as to why we got this score. It was an ugly win. It was a gutsy and ugly win for APR. But despite that, they were able to get the job done. But APR, they need to convincingly beat a team. Majority of their games have been very close. Starting even from the first game that they played USM, this game ended 89-84. So that's a game that was decided by 5 points. You can see that game they lost the River Hoopers. It was decided by 4 points. And this one was decided by 5 points. So you can see majority of the games have been clutch, and they need to convincingly win a game and defeat a team. So I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do in this second round, because they're going to match up against USM again. So hopefully they can be able to go ahead and win that ball game the same way that they did in the first time. And it was a shocker the way USM played, but I've covered them in a previous video. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comments on what you think. You can see the graphics there of the standings, and also follow me on the Facebook group where I'll be posting these game reviews as well as news pertaining to this BAL. So with that being said, I'm out. Peace.